Chapter 3. A chapter not talked about too much in the Fortnite community. In fact, no one really talks about it at all. So that's exactly what I'm here to do today. But before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support on the last video. It did absolutely insane. Also, I'm going to put my Twitch link up on the screen, also in the top of the description. I'm way more consistent on Twitch. If you want to come see me play live, then hit the link in the description, come join. Other than that, let's get into the video. Alright, Chapter 3, Season 1. Alright, I just want to warn you guys, I'm going to have some spicy takes for this video. Like, a lot of comments agreed with me on the last video. You're not going to agree with me on this video. I just want to go ahead and get that out there. Be prepared to disagree with me. Alright, so to set the stage for you, Chapter 2 got really old. It was time for a new map, so the flipped event happened, the island flipped over, and we got the new map, as you see right here. Overall, a pretty good base map, I'm not gonna lie. It's got 3 different biomes, which is pretty good. I'm not complaining about it. And then eventually the snow kind of shrunk as the season got along. I personally like Coney Crossroads, Sleepy Sound, and Bugle. Those are probably my 3 most landed POIs. They had Greasy Grove back in there, but I don't know, it just didn't really feel the same. Overall, the map was pretty good. I can't complain about it. It got kind of boring pretty quick, though. That's the only thing I will say about it. What else did we have new? We had tents, we had victory crowns, obviously the Spider-Mans. We had the med mist. That was a really good heal mechanic. Guzzle juice, no one really used that. Vaults, that was a really good concept. The fact that you could just open a vault, there were like vaults scattered all around, like in little POIs, and then quad crushers came back. But here's where the cancellation begins. I will say this. I did not like the season. I'm not gonna lie. And let me explain why. The weapon meta single-handedly ruined the game for me. Here's why. So, all new weapons in the game prior to Chapter 2. This is the first time that they made all new weapons to go into a chapter. This is the first time they did that. We got the Ranger AR, the MK7, the Striker Pump, the Auto Shotgun, Sidearm Pistol, Stinger SMG, and the Hunter Bolt Action Sniper Rifle. Those are all the new weapons. So, the oopsie that they made, that Epic Games made right away, is they made shotguns too weak in an effort to kind of nerf the sweats. So that's what they did. They made the shotguns do 0 damage, but all that did was make people carry 2 Stinger SMGs, which, oh my gosh, I could make an entire separate video about how much I hate the Stinger SMG. Holy crap, when it came out, it was the most stupid and disgusting weapon that I'd ever seen in the game. Now, they've since nerfed it because it was too overpowered. It's still overpowered. I'm not even going to sit here and try to lie to you guys. If you look at the stats, it doesn't look that overpowered, but it is. Trust. The fact that you can hit someone from 150 meters away and still do decent damage is just ridiculous with an SMG. The shotguns doing no damage just led to people carrying these sprayest weapons on like in the game. Now, I will say, for casual players, you probably loved this season because you came back. You probably weren't playing Chapter 2 Season 8 or like a lot of seasons before that. You came back, oh, there's a Spider-Man mythic in the game. Whoa, this is really cool. I can swing from tree to tree. Whoa, there's all new weapons in the game. Whoa, all I have to do is hold left click and right click, and I can win the damn game. Like, that's literally all you had to do. Oh, wow, I'm having a great time. I did not have a great time, because you didn't have to do anything to win. All you had to do was carry 3 Stinger SMGs, and you won the game. That was it. I literally specifically remember, you would carry 2 Stinger SMGs. It would be MK, Stinger, Spider-Man Mythic, and heals. Like, that was the meta. And that's not okay. It's just not. Carrying 2 SMGs is just a stupid meta, and it makes for cancerous gameplay. So, personally, the weapon meta kind of ruined the game for me. Now, if I look past that, this season wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't anything too fantastic. It lasted too long, just like every other Season 1 and every other chat. It's hard to make a Season 1 interesting for the time that Epic puts it out for. They put out a new chapter, and then they let it kind of resonate for like 4 or 5 months, and it's just like there's no updates, and there was updates, so I can't really say that, but it's like they're expecting us to have fun with a new map and all new, oh, that'll hold them off, and after a week, it's like it's boring. Like, you have to consistently put stuff in the game, and they got better with that as Chapter 3 went along. So now let's talk a little bit more about the weapon meta, now that I got that off my chest. The MK7, it was also one of the most disgusting things. There was a mythic variant as well that the rock would drop you, and that thing was disgustingly broken. And specifically the shotgun, like, I don't know. I just feel like the shotguns were so bad. Even after they buffed them, I just feel like they were not good. I just feel like I was never good with them until they left the game. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess it wasn't that bad. The auto shotgun, oh my gosh, the auto shotgun was so bad. Holy crap. That was one of the worst shotguns they ever put in the game. You literally hit for 40, 40, 40, 40. Other than that, they did add a lot of cool stuff. I loved the tent mechanic. That was really cool that you could heal up and you could also like store items from the game before. That was a cool mechanic. But I mean, I barely ever used it, to be honest. Like, I'm sure you could have fun with it if you like really put your mind to it and like came up with an idea for it. Victory crowns, I mean, they're kind of useless to be honest. It's like, who really gives a crap about victory crowns? Web shooters. This was the greatest movement item that they ever put in the game. I'll say it. It was kind of cheesy for comp at first because you had 80 charges. Like, it literally came with 80 grapples, and that was kind of OP, but they nerfed it. Yeah, no, this was a great movement item, and I got to give Epic credit for that. Med Mist. This does not get talked about enough. Med Mist is such a cool idea. The fact that you can move while healing and then also heal other people, like spray other people with the mist, that's a really cool thing. The tree breaking mechanic, no one really used that crap. Overall, I don't feel like they added enough to the game to keep it interesting for as long as the season went on, in my personal opinion. And that's what made this season just not that great. Like, the map was okay. Oh, and tornadoes came in the game. I forgot about that. But, like, no one really used those, you know? It just wasn't like a, whoa, this is so cool. This changes the game. Like, it's a tornado. It spawns once a game, and you either float on it or you don't. Like, it ain't all that. So, overall, Chapter 3, Season 1, I didn't really like it. In fact, when I was playing, like, back in Chapter 3, I was like, this is one of the worst seasons of Fortnite ever. I don't think that anymore because Chapter 4 exists, but I'll save that for a different video. Anyways, let's go on to Chapter 3, Season 2. I actually like this season. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Type your opinion down in the comments below. I'm interested to see what people have to say about this. I kind of like the season. I'm not going to lie. So, for they went 2 for 2 with brand new concepts in the game. For the start of the game, there was only 0 builds. You had to unlock builds. Like, everybody in the game had to. You couldn't play builds until, like, I forget how it worked, but you had to play 0 builds for a certain amount of time, and then you could unlock, like, regular pub builds. And then 0 build later became a game mode, which I think was a genius idea. I personally don't play it that often, but it is an absolutely genius idea. I'm very glad that they came up with it. And with that, we got Over Shield, which is an extra 50 shield that regenerates without you even having to do anything, and also gives you 50 extra shield. Sprinting was in the game. That is a game-changing mechanic. That was great. Mantling, also a game-changing mechanic. Both were really good. They hit on both of those things. Sprinting and mantling, still everybody uses those mechanics to this day, so good job on them. Which, good on them. They didn't make like a stupidly overpowered vehicle. But it was kind of cancerous. All right, Combat SMG. Holy crap. Another miss for Epic Games. Another stupid spray weapon that they put in the game to make bad controller players feel good about themselves. Holy crap, was this gun so annoying to play against. It was so stupid. This and the Stinger SMG was the weapon meta for this season, and holy crap, was it terrible. Now, I think they had already nerfed the Stinger to this point, but oh my gosh, this was painful. Striker Burst rifle. This was one of my favorite weapons in the game back then. Definitely my favorite weapon in the game back then. It's still up there to this day. I love the red dot weapons. This one was not overpowered because it's a burst. Bursts always suck a little bit, but it was scope. So if you were really accurate and you really hit your shots, oh my gosh, was it so fun to play with this thing. And then we got a lot of unvaults. We got thermal scope there, drum shotgun, C4, and then all the stuff from Chapter 3 Season 1 came back. All right, then we had the blimps. Those were pretty cool. They were kind of cheesy in no build because you could just camp on top of those things. Oh, and then they had the cannons. I freaking love the cannons. The cannons, you could literally launch halfway across the map if you like went up far enough. They were so good for movement. You didn't have to carry an item. You just had to go to the blimp and launch a cannon, and then you were chilling. Cow catchers, that was a pretty cool thing. You throw it on your car, and then you like destroy buildings. That was actually that's kind of underrated, to be honest. I feel like that was a really good mechanic. No one really talks about it. And that's about it. Overall, this was a good season. I liked the war theme that it had. Like, it was Io versus the 7. So it was a pretty nice theme, I'd say. Wasn't the best, but I mean, for Chapter 3, it was probably the best theme. It was probably the best theme in Chapter 3, to be honest. The most enjoyable, at least, to me. So anyway, overall, I'd give this season it's not bad. I think that this season was probably the best in this chapter, not gonna lie. It was annoying. It was definitely annoying to play a lot of times, but this was probably one of the better seasons of this chapter. And then you get to Chapter 3, Season 3. I really didn't like this season. I thought I would love it when it came out because it just seemed like a really kind of like fun, relaxing season. And last season, you know, there wasn't a lot of fun stuff in the game. And this season was kind of like all based on fun. It was kind of like a Chapter 2 Season 3 type thing. But yeah, no, this season flopped hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't like it. They based the whole theme around these like reality mushroom things, which that was a cool mechanic. Like I'll give them that. The fact that you could plant a sapling and then like grow it and eventually get gold weapons out of it. But it's like, I don't know, just kind of meh, to be honest. Oh yeah, we got ballers back in the game. Oh my gosh, Rave Cave existed. I forgot about Rave Cave. So Covert Canyon, or Covert Cavern, I think it was, existed last season. They introduced that. That was a great POI. Kind of like the grotto, but like a little bit bigger. And then they turned it into Rave Cave. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite POIs of all time. It was so much chaos. It was so much like, it was like a party themed POI. It was so cool. The wildlife, oh yeah, I forgot about that. This was the season that they introduced, like when you jumped on an animal, you could like ride it. Pause. No one really, I mean, that's a forgettable mechanic. No one used that, to be honest. New weapons. 2-shot shotgun. I never really used this enough to have a valid opinion on it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this shotgun. I just never really used it, so I don't have a valid opinion. DMR. I actually hated this to start, but I kind of liked it as I went along. I was like, this isn't bad. And then you got the Hammer AR. I freaking love this AR. I will give Chapter 3 this. They were really good at coming out with good ARs. Striker Burst, Hammer, the MK, even though it was overpowered, but when they nerfed it, it was a lot better. Like 3 for 3 on really good ARs. Oh yeah, Storm Sickness. I forgot about that. This was introduced this season. This is kind of stupid, to be honest, because like they made heals too good, and then they had to put Storm Sickness in the game because people were healing too much in the storm. It's like, what was the point? Overall, just kind of a boring season. There. Oh yeah, and then it was the, I think they introduced like the grapple glove, like the purple one that was way worse than the Spider-Man mythic. I wasn't a big fan of that. Overall, just kind of a mid-season. I didn't like it. It was just kind of boring, to be honest. I don't think the theme was really enough to carry it through the long season that it was. And then we got Chapter 3, Season 4. Alright, so this season was the Chrome season. There were new mechanics. You could throw Chrome Splash on the ground, and then you could turn into a blob, which was pretty cool. I didn't really use that much, so, I mean, it was kind of forgettable for me. They came out with these new Chrome weapons. The shotgun was buns. The Evo Chrome Burst, right, like, that one, that was okay. The Mythic Burst was pretty good. I don't think that the common ones were all that great. I hated the shotgun meta, I'll say that. The lever and the prime, oh my gosh. I forgot to talk about the prime before. I think that was Chapter 3, Season 3. That was a pretty good shotgun, I'm not gonna lie. The fire rate was like slower than the pump, but it hit a lot harder. That was a pretty good shotgun. I wasn't a fan of the weapon meta, but oh my gosh, I gotta give them credit. They fixed the SMG, they got rid of the SMGs. That's actually in my Chapter 3 Season 4 video. I was like, dude, did they get rid of these SMGs? The rapid fire and the suppress, like that. I was so happy to hear that, like after the cheese that I had been through with the other SMGs. Then they had the vault like keys, like you could get, if you found keys on the ground, you could open vault. That was a good idea too. You find keys and you're able to open vaults. I actually really like that. I mean, that was pretty much it. You could phase through walls if you were like in the Chrome form. This season was a whole lot of mid to me. I just didn't think it was that good. And I was kind of tired of Chapter 3 at this point, so I didn't play this one as much. I still play, but I just didn't play as much. Overall, just not the best season. If I had to rank these in order, Season 2, Season 1, Season 3, Season 4, I think would probably be my ranking. So, Chapter 3, all in all, I look back on it and I'm like, that was a pretty fun time. I'm not gonna lie. I crapped on it a lot when I was playing it, but overall it wasn't too bad. But overall it was just mid. I just didn't think that anything in the game was that astounding. They did add a lot of new stuff in Chapter 3, but I just don't feel like the effects of those things that they added lasted a long time. Whereas like in Chapter 2, for instance, like a lot of the mechanics, they just kept carrying over. Like I feel like a lot of stuff in Chapter 3 was just very short-lived as far as like things added to the game. So overall, I would give this a mid. This was a mid chapter. Every season was pretty much mid, and this was eons below Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. But that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Go follow me on Twitch. Like the video if you want to see a Chapter 4 video. I might have to make that now. And other than that, I love you. Peace out.